Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're going to talk about bullying today. Not so much about your child being bullied, but how to stop the bully if your child happens to be the one who is the bully. And that's disheartening to hear that your child is the absolute one who is the bully. So let's talk about that. First of all, you may not even be aware of it. There could be circumstances, just something that your child, something that is doing to cause them to be that way. So let's just look real quick at a video. I thought this was really enlightening. We'll be right back in a minute.
Sometimes we hurt each other's feelings by mistake or lash out when we're angry. Bullying is different. Bullying is hurting someone on purpose. Some examples of bullying are name-calling, physically hurting someone, excluding them from a group, or posting mean things about them online. So why do people bully? Oftentimes, the people who bully are hurting from something in their own lives. Bullying may make someone feel powerful at school if they feel helpless at home. This does not make bullying okay, but it can be useful to understand why it might be happening. If you find yourself bullying other people, talk to a trusted adult or counselor about it to help figure out what might be driving you to act this way. You can work through your hurt with help and start to have real friendships. Meet Amber. Amber used to love school, but now she hates going because she feels like there is no one she can trust. When other students make fun of her for wearing the same clothes, her so-called friends don't stand up for her and even join in. Sometimes people call Amber fat, and it really hurts her feelings, but she is too embarrassed to tell anyone. The bullying continued daily. Amber started being alone more and stopped talking in class. Thankfully, Amber's favorite teacher noticed and got her to open up so the bullying could be addressed. You may have heard the saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me." This is not true. What people say and do to you can have lasting effects on how you feel about yourself and others. You deserve to feel safe and happy at school. If you witness bullying, you can help make it stop. Don't keep quiet. Reach out to the person being bullied by letting them know that you saw what happened. Tell an adult, or if you feel safe to do so, tell the bully to stop. If everyone works together, we can put an end to bullying.
Okay, I thought that was a really good video. Now, I wanted to mention this, okay? So, a long time ago, I guess I was about 13, something like that. And there was a boy that was perceived he was bullying me. I mean, he really was. Then later in life, we became friends. And I said, you know what? You used to bully me in school. And he said, I wasn't bullying you. I had a crush on you. So, just let me tell you that. Sometimes what you may think is bullying, especially if it's between a boy and a girl, it could be that they like you. And they don't want to admit it. They're young. They don't know what they're doing. So that could be part of it. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started with 10 ways to discipline your child if your child is the one who's bullying. Now, we're responsible for our kids, right? We're responsible for how to behave in school. And if it's something, maybe you're not even aware of it, and you've been talking with maybe the teacher or maybe other parents, maybe other parents are calling you saying, your child is bullying my kid in school. You need to take it seriously. You really do. So let's just talk about this, okay? And let's talk about possible reasons for bullying. Okay, sometimes bullying is the product of peer pressure or a sense of entitlement. Other times it's a reaction of having been a victim of bullying themselves. And other times the bullying results from the child's inability to control, let's stop that telemarketer right there, to control impulses or to manage anger. It could be divorce reasons with the parents. It could be just a number of things. Regardless of the reason behind your child's actions, you have to discipline your child for their poor choices. They've got to know it's wrong, okay? After all, the bullying behaviors will not end unless your child takes responsibility for their actions, admits their mistakes, and learns how to change their behavior. Now, there are 10 ways that we can address this. And again, the quicker you handle this and the quicker you admit it yourself that your child is a bully, the quicker things, the better their life's going to be, okay? So the quicker you get a grip on it, it's like cut down a tree when it's a young tree, when you can bend it. You wait until it grows into a big elm tree. It's going to take a lot longer to do it. Okay, so the quicker you do this, the better. Okay, so let's talk about determining the root cause. And by the way, everybody needs to really listen to this, not just the person who's a bully parent. Okay, so if your child is being bullied, this is important for you as well. So the website is a good one, verywellfamily.com. verywellfamily.com. It's a good website. Now, in order to develop the correct plan of discipline for your child, you need to find out why your child chose to bully another child and create a conversation that encourages kids to talk more openly. For example, if your child is a bully victim, you'll need to deal with their bullying, but also help them cope with the bullying that they've had to put up with, what they've endured. Meanwhile, if your child bullied other kids in an attempt to be popular, to be accepted, or as part of a clique, then you need to address the importance of healthy relationships and resisting peer pressure. But remember, do not give your child an excuse for their behavior. Instead, this information will give you an idea of how to address their poor choices and discipline them appropriately. You don't want to beat them to death, nothing like that, but you want to get the point across. Okay, discuss bullying as a choice, to be or not to be. You bully or you don't bully. Your child needs to recognize that no matter the reason behind their bullying behavior, bullying was a choice they made, and they are responsible for their actions. Be sure your child owns their choice and accepts the responsibility. We need to do that as parents. It's extremely important. If you're the grandparent and you're raising the grandchild who's a bully and they're going to school, I know you feel sorry for them because, maybe something happened to the parents. I don't know, one reason or another. You are the responsibility of this kid. It's also your responsibility to make sure they're not a bully. Now, sometimes kids refuse to take responsibility just like adults do. Do not let this attitude slide because you know what? Later on in life, if they don't take the responsibility, there's going to be other issues that are going to crop up that are going to be worse than this, if you can imagine that. So continue discussing the situation until your child can communicate that they understand their responsibility. Develop logical consequences. This is extremely important. We've all heard the statement, the punishment should fit the crime. We've all heard that. This is especially true when it comes to discipline for bullying. If, for example, your child was using their computer or a cell phone to cyberbully others, then a logical consequence would be the loss of computer privileges and cell phone use. There needs to be an age, by the way. I don't think you should turn your kids loose with a computer or a cell phone anyway. That needs to be monitored. You need to. It's too easy to pull something up. I mean, it was like I was looking for. I had a video I wanted to show you guys. So there's a particular website that I used that would convert to where I could actually put it on my screen up here for you guys to view. Porn stuff started coming up. I mean, it's just weird. I quickly got out of that one. And so you never know what the pop-up is going to be. So you have to be really, really vigilant about your kids, your grandkids, or whoever, and make sure they're not seeing things they don't need to be seeing, because that can also pump ideas into their heads. Likewise, if your child used their status on the cheerleading squad to bully others because they're part of a clique, they should lose that status for a period of time. You might choose to suspend them from a game or two, or not allow them to spend time with the friends who participated in the bullying. Just remember that every bullying situation is different, and as a result, the consequences will be different as well. If it's just to be part of the crowd, you might want to watch who that crowd is. That crowd can get your kid in trouble. There are people who were put in jail now overnight on the weekend, not because they were doing anything wrong, but because they were hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that crowd was doing something wrong. And your kid or maybe your grandchild got put in the crossfires and they wound up in jail. You don't want that to happen either. It's so important to know who your kids are hanging out with. My place, our home, was actually the place where everybody hung out. You know why? Yeah, it cost me food. They eat a lot. However, I had control over who my son was hanging out with, and maybe teach a few lessons to the other kids if they kind of started in that little bully trend there. Okay, take away privileges. We talked about that. Losing privilege is a popular form of discipline. Sometimes that's all they get. Some kids, you could beat them to death and they wouldn't get it. But if you find out what their clique is, what makes them work, what makes them operate, that's where you want to go. So this is usually very effective. For example, you can take away electronics. That'd do it. The use of the family car, that would have done it for me. The privilege of attending parties or special events, social media use, or even the freedom to stay home alone. I mean, the list is endless. You'll find out what their driving purpose point is. The point is to demonstrate that bullying behavior has consequences and will not be tolerated. Just be sure that once you take something away, you do not give in. Because if you ever give in to a kid, to a teenager, you're done. They'll never listen to you again. Also be clear on the length of time that the privilege will be revoked. Okay? Now, support the school's disciplinary plan. Although supporting the school can be difficult for parents sometimes, it's an extremely important step. When you partner with the school, okay, you're all in the same alignment and you support the plan they're implementing, you are ensuring your child to learn a valuable life lesson. I know the first thing is to say, well, my kid didn't do that. But if you got complete evidence, if there is a video showing your child being a bully, you better cramp down. You better take care of that kid. That's because you love your child and you want them to have the best productive life possible. Could be something just needs to be tweaked, just a little bitty thing, just some little annoying thing, and they don't even know they're doing it. Like the guy that actually liked me, and he thought, I was 13, 14 years old. He said, I wasn't bullying you at all. I liked you. I had a crush on you. And I'm like, well, wow. That's how you treated me because you liked me? He grew up, by the way. He's a good guy. It also shows them that there are consequences. It shows your child that there are consequences about bad choices. And mom or dad will not, in some cases, cannot rescue them. The worst decision you can make is to enable their bad decisions by attempting to rescue them from the pain of consequences. We've seen this happen over and over again. High-profile people, movie stars, people like that who have what we call weird kids. Well, the kid had a life of luxury. They were never disciplined. They never did anything wrong, and it wound up ruining their life. And a lot of times they get just all trapped into things and wind up committing suicide later on in life. All these things you need to be thinking about, okay? I mean, I did. I was a bad mom. I was mean. Yeah, I was evil. But now he kind of thinks I'm cool. It had to wait until he was 30 years old to figure that out. But anyway, you are the responsibility of your child. Let's go into a commercial break, and we shall return in just a few minutes. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success, and now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature-regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and brand new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IAC Radio. We're talking about bullying. What if that bully is your child? Let's talk about some consequences, and we're going to have to rush on because I got a lot of information right here. Teach your child new skills. Sometimes you need a hobby, but let's talk about this. Pay attention to the details of your child's bullying behavior. Are there skills your child is lacking that may prevent future bullying incidents like anger management or impulse control? Or is your child bullying to fit in or to get attention? Or maybe they like a girl, or maybe they like a boy. That could be part of it too. We talked about that. If so, it could just be a self-esteem issue. Help your child see their value and worth outside of what peers have to say. And if bullying is related to like little cliques in the school, help your child learn to identify and develop healthy relationships. You don't have to be with considered the in crowd to live. You don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, some of the people that I went to school with who are extremely popular are not like that anymore. So sometimes it's just, it's a perception of what you think popularity is in school. You need to avoid shaming your child. Okay, now let's look at this. That can only make things worse. So more recently, parents have started shaming their child as a way of disciplining them. Don't do that. I'm just saying, please don't do that, okay? For instance, they make their child wear a sign and stand on a street corner. Or maybe take an embarrassing picture of the child and post it on social. You're being a bully if you do that yourself. You might be the problem if you're doing things like this. And they'll maybe post an embarrassing picture on social media with a lengthy explanation of the child's transgressions. While these actions have attracted media attention, they're not useful and not really the way to discipline, not a good strategy. So instead, kids learn that it's acceptable to embarrass and humiliate others. They think, oh yeah, well, I got humiliated, I got embarrassed, so I'm going to start that trend. I'll just be a bully another way. Additionally, shaming is a form of bullying. Like I just said, shaming is a form of bullying and should not be used to discipline. Again, if you're doing this to your kid, maybe you're the reason they're a bully in the long run. Okay, concentrate on instilling empathy. Let's talk about that. Talk about the consequences of bullying. Be sure your child takes the time to really think about how they would feel if they were the one being bullied. While kids learn to see things from a different perspective, they think a little differently, okay? We were all kids once. We remember this. They are less likely to bully again in the future. In fact, raising your child's emotional intelligence and instilling empathy goes a long way in preventing bullying. Okay, and let's talk about this one. Prevent future bullying. You know what? Another thing is I found that when you're disciplining a child, do it as a one-on-one. Don't do it in front of the whole family. Don't do it in front of the school. Don't do it in front of anybody. This should be one-on-one. This should be a personal thing between you and your child. That's what I always did. Now, was Brad perfect? No, he wasn't. Was I a perfect mother? No. There were a lot of mothers much better than I was. But a few things I did find. That if you do one-on-one, don't do it publicly. Don't do it in front of other kids. Don't do it in front of anybody. This should be a one-on-one issue with you and your child and your spouse. So that's important. So sometimes when bullying is caught early and addressed appropriately, it usually won't happen again. Sometimes people just don't know what they're doing. And it's just out of sheer ignorance. They just don't know. Okay? And maybe they've been watching too much television. And they're seeing, maybe even a cartoon can bring it on. So you have to be careful, but do not automatically assume that this is the case. Instead, monitor your child's behavior and continue to discipline them if necessary. If given the right skill set, most kids who bully can change that. It just takes a little bit of time. You got to be one-on-one with the kids. That you've got to be, not being their friends, you got to be the adult here, okay? You've got to be the parent. And that can cause another issue. So let's talk about this. I saw something else. Peer pressure and that kind of thing. And we do, we have time. Okay. But there are a number of reasons why kids do bully. Okay, so these are the 10 types of kids most likely to be bullied. Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, number one could be a successful kid. Sometimes, they make all A's. It's the kids that they're good at what they do. They might get bullied. A lot of times kids will be bullied because they get a lot of positive attention from their peers and from adults. Now, this attention could be everything from excelling in sports, making the cheerleading squad, or getting the editor's position on the school newspaper. So bullies target these students because they feel inferior to these kids, or they worry about their abilities and they're being overshadowed by the target's abilities. As a result, they bully these kids, hoping to make them feel insecure as well as making other kids doubt their abilities. Maybe it's a cheerleading squad. This drew national attention, where this girl thought she was going to be the head of the cheerleading squad, but another girl was. Well, she started bullying, and she even murdered this girl. So see, this girl wanted to be the head of the cheerleading squad, but somebody who was actually better got it. And so that's another thing. When your child doesn't get number one status, I think that's been the whole thing about everybody gets a trophy. I think that caused a lot of issues. So if your child is not the number one status, you as a parent or a grandparent, you need to talk to them. All you have to do is say, well, you know what? You didn't get number one this time, but we're going to work together, okay? Let's work harder. We'll be more successful, and who knows, next year you just might be. Okay, could be someone is intelligent, they're determined, they're creative, they make straight A's. This is a straight A student, and they're being bullied by somebody who's jealous because they're making straight A's. That can happen. So at school, these students that go that extra mile on their schoolwork, or maybe they go out without the teacher asking. They start a program. Maybe you're in science. Maybe they get moss outside and they take it to school and they show it to the teacher and say, how does this work? Another student could get jealous of that. Jealousy causes a lot of this. Maybe the child is vulnerable. Yeah, that happens a lot. So children who are introverted, they're anxious, or they're submissive are more likely to be bullied than kids who are extroverted and asserted. In fact, some researchers believe that kids who lack self-esteem may attract kids who are prone to bullying. What's more, kids who engage in people-pleasing are often targeted by bullies because they're easy to manipulate. Research has shown that kids suffering from depression or stress-related conditions can also be likely to be bullied, which can often make that situation worse. The bullies select these kids because they're an easy mark, less work to get to them, all right? And also less likely to fight back. Most bullies want to feel powerful, so they choose kids that are weaker or they perceive is weaker than they are. Isolated. Many victims of bullying tend to have fewer friends than children who do not experience bullying. They may be rejected by their peers, excluded from social events, and may even spend lunch and recess alone. Parents and teachers can prevent the bullying of socially isolated students by helping them develop friendships. Maybe bystanders can also support these kids by befriending them, and you might keep somebody from being bullied. Research has shown that if a child has at least one friend, their chances of being bullied reduces dramatically. Without a friend to back them up, these kids are often more likely to be targeted by bullies because they do not have to worry about someone coming to their aid. Sometimes, this is strange, but sometimes bullies target popular or well-liked children because of the threat they pose to the bully. Mean girls are especially likely to target someone who threatens their popularity or their social standing. A lot of relational aggression is linked to an attempt to climb the social ladder. Kids will spread rumors, engage by name-calling, even resort to cyberbullying in an effort to destroy their popularity. When these kids are targeted, the bully is looking to discredit the victim and make them less likable. Sometimes it just can be a distinctive physical appearance. Almost any type of physical characteristic that is different or unique can attract the attention of bullies. It might be that the victim is tall, it could be they're short, it could be they're thin, it could be they're obese, that might even wear glasses or have acne. I was the one who wore had acne. Large nose or ears that stick out, it really doesn't matter what it is. A bully will pick a feature and will distort it as a target. If you're experiencing bully, your child is experiencing being a bully, or they are bullying, or they're being bullied. You need to go ahead and take hold of that and see what you can do to stop it. Go ahead and create a relationship with the teacher and ask the teacher what they're noticing. You know, teachers have big classrooms. Sometimes they don't see everything that happens. So just mention it to your teacher or to the school board or to the principal. Go to the school, have a friendly relationship with them, and just say, look, I'm in here, my child is being bullied, and I want to work with you on getting this handled. Or if your child is the bully, you fess up to it, admit to it, and say, look, I want to work with the school, we want to get this handled. And you need to do that before something else erupts later on in age. Thank you so much for watching The Edge. My name is Donna. I'm your host. Look forward to seeing you every single day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. You take care.